We welcome you to the 2011 President's Convocation for new students. We ask that you remain seated for the Convocation Procession. Let the processional begin. The procession begins with the entry of the gonfalons, vertical flags that bear the Tulane University shield. Use of the gonfalon as a ceremonial banner dates back to the 1500s in Italy. Each Tulane gonfalon is emblazoned with the interlocking TU letters on a shield. This shield is used as an architectural symbol on several of the Uptown campus's original buildings and also serves as the Tulane University logo. We have 7 gonfalons to represent the 7 undergraduate schools and colleges at the university. We now welcome Dr. Michael White's Original Liberty Jazz Band, leading the platform party. Please stand as we welcome Allie Bloomston, School of Liberal Arts, class of 2015, to the stage to perform the National Anthem. She will be accompanied by the Tulane University Marching Band under the direction of Barry Spanier.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Please welcome to the podium the Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students, Michael Hogue.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome our honored guests, faculty, staff, and parents, but most importantly, I would like to welcome the class of 2015. Some of you may know that I am a graduate of Tulane. I earned all 4 of my degrees from here. And as a Tulanean, I sat in the seats that you're sitting in. I know McAllister Auditorium was probably a lot newer then, but in preparing for today, I called some of my former classmates to see what they might have remembered when they were sitting in these seats. And at first, all of them sort of remembered one thing. They were glad that they were in an air-conditioned building. But then the conversation drifted to sort of another fact, that each of us, although we would never have admitted it, were nervous about the experience we were ready to embark upon. And then we began to think about what the convocation ceremony meant to us. And in large measure, it was about the dreams that we had on one hot August day about what our Tulane experience would look like. And so I'd like to borrow that theme for today. As we pause in this time of new beginnings, I hope you consider your Tulane experience a shared experience that is connected to other members of the Tulane community, the residents of New Orleans, your own families, to mention a few, but is also connected to a place. That place is Tulane University, your university, a university that has been in the making for over 177 years. What I'd like to ask you is, how will you embrace this shared experience and sense of place? I think it's an important question to ponder because you'll have about 45 months here. And at that juncture, you will be an alumnus of Tulane University. The only difference is Tulane will be about 181 years old, and you will begin yet another phase of your life. Life is about change, and these new beginnings are inevitable. However, the story of our life is as much about change as it is about the history of our past, those threads of our lives that connect us to people and places. The history you write over the next 45 months is in large measure dictated by the choices that you make. So I urge you to make those choices wisely. Your shared experience should be much more than I spent 45 months at Tulane University in New Orleans. Because this class, the class of 2015, is remarkable by any metric for any freshman class anywhere in the United States. I'll leave it to the admissions office to boast about the quantitative measures that your class possesses, although my guess is that it breaks almost all of those Tulane records. I would like to focus on the qualitative measure or qualitative measures because in the long run, I believe that those measures are a much more important metric. It also helps in writing your own history here at Tulane. In talking with members of your class over the summer throughout the orientation sessions, I began to distill something unique from those conversations. I found that the class of 2015 is measured in my mind by a strong sense of personal ethics, where values matter and character counts. A class that believes you can embrace your Tulane education, both in and outside of the classroom with integrity, and in a manner that will prepare you to use your shared Tulane experience, your personal ethics, and talents to create a world that is marked by respect, justice, and peace. As we discussed in the June orientation sessions, it isn't the burdens of today that drive men mad, but rather the regret over yesterday and the fear of tomorrow. Regret and fear are twin thieves who would rob us of today. Your ability to get the most out of the next 45 months, to fulfill your own dreams, depends upon your willingness to act with integrity and to make the choices that will allow you to pursue your passions and fulfill your dreams. In closing, I would like to leave you with one final thought, and that is that the respect of your classmates is not a right, it's earned. No doubt your classmates are impressive, but that is not to say that any of you should ever be intimidated. Harry Truman once said at the United States Senate, "The first 6 months, I wondered why I was there, and even after that, I wondered why all my colleagues were there." And perhaps that's a little bit like your first year of college. But if you think about it, everybody at Tulane belongs. Everyone will find their place. And if a classmate loses his or her way, you will help them. Because at Tulane, we live our motto, not for oneself, but for one's own. Thank you. It is with great pleasure that I introduce the university's provost, Michael Bernstein. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. It's my pleasure and my privilege to welcome all of you to Tulane University as we start our 177th year. And I have the honor to introduce to you the platform party, some of the senior academic officers of the university and of the student government. To my right, your left, is the 14th president of Tulane University, Scott Cowan, who soon will address the class. Next to the president, Mike Hoag, vice president for student affairs and dean of students, whom you've just met. Earl Retief, the dean of admissions and vice president for enrollment management. He's the reason you're all here. And Cassidy Adams, the president of the Associated Student Body, a member of the class of 2012. And now the deans of the university, starting from my right, your left. Carol Haber, dean of the School of Liberal Arts. Ira Solomon, dean of the A.B. Freeman School of Business. Kenneth Schwartz, the dean of the School of Architecture. Nick Altero, dean of the School of Science and Engineering. And Pierre Bukins, dean of the School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine. And to my left, your right, Ron Marks, Dean of the School of Social Work. Lance Query, Dean of the Libraries and of Academic Information Resources. Dave Meyer, Dean of the School of Law. Rick Marksbury, Dean of the School of Continuing Studies. And Ben Sachs, Senior Vice President and Dean of the School of Medicine. And continuing to my left, Evan Nickel, the President of the Undergraduate Student Government. And lastly, I introduce to you the Dean of Newcomb Tulane College, James McLaren.
Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon. It's truly a great pleasure on behalf of all of our students, faculty, and staff who make up this great institution to welcome the class of 2015 to Tulane University. As the newest members of Tulane's undergraduate student body, you have now matriculated into Newcomb Tulane College, and it is the college that will be your academic home for the next 4, or in some cases 5 years. Now, I know what you're thinking, and maybe the parents won't mind you taking it. You might not mind taking a more leisurely time through college, but your parents won't like that. And we are in the Big Easy, but the 5 years is really for those students who are in the Masters of Architecture. My job as Dean is to help coordinate your education at Tulane, including intellectual, civic, social, and residential parts, and to ensure that as an institution, we not only meet, but exceed your expectations. Tulane is a unique university, for it is a private research institution that is deeply committed to a first-class undergraduate education. And this is a rare combination in higher education, and one that offers unparalleled opportunities for all of our students. From small seminar classes that focus on a faculty member's particular expertise, to research experiences in faculty's labs, or to service learning classes that will connect you to the greater community of New Orleans. We are all here to help you seek out and take advantage of these opportunities. Now you're officially a member of the Tulane family, and as such, I expect you to stop me often to chat as I cross campus, to let me know how things are going for you, what we're doing right or possibly wrong, or if for no other reason, to legitimize my favorite excuse for being late to meetings. I'm sorry I'm running late. I stopped to chat to students that I know. As an entering class, you're an extraordinary group of men and women, and I thought you might like to know a little bit more about yourselves. This year's entering class of over 1,600 students was selected from about 38,000 applicants. I, for one, am very happy I didn't have to apply for admission to Tulane in such a competitive environment. As a group, you have demonstrated not only exceptional academic qualifications, of which you can take great pride in, but also a desire to be engaged in your community through service. Your standardized test scores, an average SAT of over 2,000, and high school academic records place you in the top 10% of college-bound freshmen nationwide. And this is something you can boast about. I believe that on average you got one answer more correct on your SAT than last year's entering class. Three of you got perfect scores on your ACTs and won a perfect 2,400 on their SAT. Pretty good. Almost 2/3 of you ranked in the top 10% of your high school graduating class, and virtually all in the top quarter. Many of you were designated as either the valedictorian or salutatorian of your high school. 155 of you experienced nothing less than an A in high school, a trend that I hope you'll continue in Tulane. Though, as I've said to incoming students before you, you might want to watch out for organic chemistry. You have come to Tulane from diverse backgrounds, from cities large and small, and from all states except Delaware and Wyoming this year. Also from many different nations. Some members of this class will be living in the United States for the first time. Students in this year's class have come from over 20 different countries, including China, Japan, Vietnam, Panama, Australia, Brunei, Costa Rica, Ecuador, India and Italy, Nicaragua, Singapore, Switzerland, Spain, the Philippines, Thailand, the United Arab Emirates, South Africa, the UK, my favorite, and Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I advise you to get to know these students, if for no other reason that these sound like awfully cool spring break locations. Your class includes many creative students, including several rappers, musicians, writers, entrepreneurs, a competitive Irish dancer, and a national champion baton twirler. One student has trained a healer dog. And if you're up for another challenge, I have a very unruly Great Dane puppy that needs help. I know if you climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, but I don't think that that's a skill you're going to need in New Orleans much. Many of you have been involved in public service before coming to Tulane, and it is the integration of public service with every academic program that I'm sure was a major factor in your decision to attend Tulane. You're from a generation of young men and women who are characterized by a deep commitment to giving back, and with a desire to leave your community better than you found it. For that commitment, Tulane and New Orleans is grateful. The opportunity to continue your civic involvement here will be some of the most meaningful you experience during your time as undergraduates. We have in our incoming class a student who taught English in Kenya, and others who have started nonprofits, and many more of you have volunteered your time and efforts in the rebuilding of New Orleans. Your accomplishments, while considerable, are second only to your aspirations for the future. You have told us of your desire to lead at the highest level, to be Supreme Court justices, senators, to be president. You aspire to be Nobel laureates, teachers, performers, urban designers, investment bankers, researchers, CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, social workers, and astronauts. I used to say I was waiting for the first student wanting to be a dean. However, a year or two ago, a student, after this conversation, stopped by my office and asked for some career guidance. Each of you is now faced with great opportunities and challenges. You're here today joining our community because you decided to grasp those opportunities and rise to the challenges, and to use your intellectual abilities to make your dreams a reality. We expect much from you. We know that you can, and we know that you will succeed. And we're here to foster that success. For the last couple of years, your focus has been getting into college. From today forward, your focus is redirecting to becoming a part of Tulane. We want you to grow as individuals, as leaders, as people who will make a difference in your own lives and in the lives of others. We want to help you develop your intellectual skills, to develop critical approaches to literature, arts, sciences, and business, and to acquire technical expertise of your discipline. As Dean, my challenge to you today is to make the most of your education. Read and become better informed about the world in which we live, understand its political, cultural, and economic complexities. Be engaged with Tulane and New Orleans community through your service opportunities. Challenge yourself with interesting courses, no matter what your major or degree. Soak up the rich culture of New Orleans, this wonderful city, its music, its food, and its charm, but don't do that to excess. Join some of our many student organizations, and go to athletic events and support the Green Wave. Take advantage of study abroad programs and learn about the cultures and traditions of people from around the globe firsthand. Do study for all your classes, and don't forget to go to them, even the ones at 8 a.m. Most importantly, enjoy your time here. Make lasting friendships and make every day count. It is amazing how quickly these 4 years will go by. It is therefore with great pride and with this challenge in mind that I turn you over to my colleagues, the faculty. The faculty will demand much of you, and you in turn will demand much of yourselves. I know you will exceed their expectations of you, since this is what Tulane students do. Congratulations and welcome to Tulane University, from where I'm standing, the best university in America. I'd now like to ask all the first-year students to stand for me. Mr. President, I now present to you the freshman class.
On behalf of the Tulane Board of Trustees and the administrators, faculty, and staff of Tulane University, it gives me great pleasure to formally and officially recognize and welcome you as matriculated students of Tulane University. We are absolutely delighted to have you here as a member of our community and the legacy of this great university. And I ask the platform party, all of you, and all of those in the rooms around campus who are watching this, to give this class a thunderous round of applause. Please be seated. The academic community you joined today was founded in 1834 as the Medical College of Louisiana. In 1847, the Medical College was merged with the University of Louisiana, a public university, and finally in 1884, the University of Louisiana was privatized and named for its benefactor, Paul Tulane. Now, for you trivia buffs out here, there's an interesting story about Paul Tulane. First of all, he worked as a trader and cotton merchant here in New Orleans for many years, but who was actually a native of New Jersey. In his later years, he approached his alma mater, Princeton, and offered them a sum of money if they would rename the university after him. Obviously, since Princeton is still called Princeton, they turned him down, something he took very personally. But Paul Tulane was persistent. In 1884, he offered the money instead to the state of Louisiana to name a university in New Orleans after him. The state was already stretched thin in the post-Civil War economy to adequately fund both the University of Louisiana and LSU. So they funneled the money to the University of Louisiana, privatized it, and renamed it Tulane University. Still, Paul Tulane never forgot Princeton's refusal. After his death, he was buried in Princeton, but with his back toward the university and his face pointed to the south. Now, there are many lessons to learn from this story, but the most important one is to never disappoint or rebuff someone from New Jersey. And in the interest of full disclosure, I should add here that I was born and raised in the Garden State. Yes, I was born and raised in the Garden State, but now I call Louisiana my home, the Bayou State. It's your home now, too. And let me tell you what it means to be a member of the New Orleans and Tulane communities. New Orleans is the only city in America that can lay claim to its own music, language, architecture, and food. In New Orleans, you will hear music you have never heard played before. You'll speak words you never heard spoken, and eat food you never thought could taste so good. You will fall in love with a city steeped in history, with old world architecture you thought only existed in the capitals of Europe, and with characters you thought only existed in books. And you may even find your soulmate for life here, if Travel and Leisure magazine is correct in recently naming New Orleans America's best city for singles. By the way, you may also grow in physical stature in the next few years because you're going to eat too much. When I came here 14 years ago, I was 5'9" and weighed 170 pounds. Today, I could be the starting left tackle for the New Orleans Saints. But there's a lot more about your new home than all of that. Here in New Orleans and at Tulane, we are in the midst of a renaissance, the likes of which this country has rarely seen. 6 years ago, literally 6 years ago, on the same date, an historic and unprecedented storm named Katrina made landfall in Louisiana. As I make this statement, by the way, I am very mindful that the East Coast, as we sit here today, is being assaulted by Hurricane Irene. And I pray and truly expect that its impact, while likely to result in much damage, will in no way reach the absolutely devastating proportions of a Katrina. In our case, Katrina flooded 80% of New Orleans. That's a landmass equivalent to 7 times the size of Manhattan. And we were underwater for 57 days. Katrina resulted in many deaths, homes destroyed, and people left without jobs. The storm caused $650 million in losses to Tulane University. And we became the first major research university to close for an entire semester since the Civil War. Most people thought New Orleans and Tulane would never recover, and if they did, they would never regain their stature and reputation. You being in this audience bear witness to the fact that they were absolutely wrong. Today, New Orleans has become a model city for the rest of the nation in areas such as public health, education, and community health. Likewise, Tulane has become one of the most lauded, distinguished, and sought-after universities in America. Before Katrina, the uninsured had few options when it came to health care in this city. Their medical issues were untreated until they became emergencies. Now a network of neighborhood health centers run by Tulane provides primary and mental health services to thousands of New Orleanians regardless of their ability to pay. Before Katrina, New Orleans was an iconic city, but one that tended to be stuck in the past. Today, New Orleans is a hotbed of innovation and an incubator for new ideas and new industry in the areas of the biosciences, filmmaking, video game design, and green technology. And you may wonder, as I tell you these stories, how did this happen? How did we make such progress in such a short period of time? In fact, a lot of this progress occurred because of Tulane and its exceptional faculty, staff, and students. It happened because of the students who preceded you, and it will continue because you are now here. After Katrina, Tulane became the first and still only major research university to integrate public service into the core curriculum. This change has had a profound impact on our academic culture and how we and others perceive the university. It changed the profile of our student body and how the university views its role locally and around the world. It has been instrumental in the transformation of New Orleans and the collegiate experience of our students. Tulane has always been a stellar institution known for academic excellence in its programs. Our faculties are outstanding scholars and educators who genuinely care about students and have a passion to help them grow personally, intellectually, and professionally. That academic reputation is now enhanced by our commitment to civic engagement, which gives students the opportunity to use their knowledge and talents to help others less fortunate while providing students a unique leadership, learning, and civic experience. Tulane's community engagement commitment is embodied in Tulane Empowers. The vision of Tulane Empowers is powerful and noble. It is to make Tulane the leader among research universities in mobilizing its expertise to build stronger and healthier communities, locally and around the world, while also developing the next generation of engaged citizens and leaders, all of you. Your classmates, those who came before you, are actually making this vision become a reality, as you will. They are establishing debate clubs in the public schools to teach young people how to think, communicate, work together, and to compete. They are tutoring public school students, helping them not only to read, but to dream bigger. they are designing and building safer and stronger homes to replace those destroyed by Katrina. They are sponsoring science and engineering events to develop the next generation of innovators and problem solvers. They develop software that track damage from last summer's BP oil spill, and the list goes on and on. Here's my question for you. What will be your contribution to this list? You have the opportunity to have a truly unique and transformative educational experience if you embrace Tulane's empowerment ethos and avail yourself of the intellectual and professional opportunities Tulane offers you. Your experiences and accomplishments will look great on a resume, but more importantly, it will help you become an engaged citizen and leader capable of positively and thoughtfully addressing society's most pressing problems. And all you have to do is read the newspaper every day to know we need many more thoughtful, engaged citizens and leaders. College is not just about getting a job. It's not just about building your resume. It's about developing the habits of the mind and the heart so you will be remembered for what you have done for others, not just what you have done for yourself. That's what being a Tulane student is all about. So I ask you, are you ready and willing to take on the responsibility and privilege of being a Tulane student? Let me hear you say yes. That's not loud enough or enthusiastic enough. Let me hear it again. All right, one day, I know I will tell the story of the great class of 2015. It is now time to start writing the first chapter when you walk out of this auditorium. And one more thing before I let you go. When you do exit today, through the front doors of this building, you will see the Tulane Victory Bell. This bell has a long and storied tradition of being rung after each Tulane victory. Today, I want to start a new tradition with your class. As you leave, give the bell a good rub. In doing so, some of the tradition and pride of Tulane's 177 years will rub off on you. And in the process, you will rub some of your energy, enthusiasm, and spirit into the bell for future generations. Welcome to Tulane University.
We welcome Green Envy to the stage to close Convocation by singing the Tulane Alma Mater. Please stand up for the Alma Mater. Green Envy is the oldest student-run a cappella choir at Tulane.
Praise thee for thy past, O Alma Mater. Thy hand hath done its work full faithfully. The incense of thy spirit hath ascended and filled America from sea to sea. Olive green and blue, we love thee. Pledge we now our fealty true. Where the trees are ever greenest, where the skies are purest blue, hear us now, O Tulane, hear us, as we proudly sing to thee. Take from us our heart's devotion, thine we are, and thine shall be.
Remix.
True. Where the trees are ever greenest, where the skies are purest blue,
Ever purest blue.
hear us now, O Tulane, hear us, as we proudly sing to thee. Take from us
Please welcome back to the podium James McLaren, Dean of Newcomb Tulane College.
I think Paul Tulane would have liked that last version. Today you will embark upon your academic journey as the newest members of Newcomb Tulane College and Tulane University. During this journey you will experience both personal challenges and successes. The faculty and staff at Tulane will support you through those challenges and celebrate with you in your achievements. I invite you to take advantage of all that the college has to offer. Be active and engaged members of our community and make lasting friendships and memories. Today, as you go down the steps of McAllister Auditorium, you will begin those dreams as scholars and citizens of Newcomb Tulane College.
Everyone please stand. We welcome the return of Dr. White's band to lead the recessional. President Cowan will lead the platform party in the recessional.
That's a first. I hope they didn't go home. I hear a drum. Huh? I don't want to put it. Hold on, Scott.
Class of 2015, please follow the gonfalons and proceed to the tent on the Lavin Bernick Center quad.